Okay, let's reconnect to our story of the universe. We had come down to solar system and now we will zoom further in. Do you recognize this picture? Yes, it's very hard to find anything significant in this picture. And now look at the center of the circle. There's a very small dot. It's a famous picture, the pale blue dot. It was taken by NASA's Voyager probe in 1990 at a distance of about 6 billion kilometers. And there's a famous book by Carl Sagan, the astronomer and the popularizer of astronomy. This is our Earth. Isn't it humbling? All these wars and struggles and cut and thrust is on this small tiny dot. Another very famous picture was taken in 1968 by Apollo 8, Earthrise. And one more among those very famous pictures is the Blue Marble, which was taken in 1972. So that was our planet Earth. I share my story. I was about 8 or 9 years old when my mother she was peeling onions in the kitchen, and she told me that this earth is also like an onion and there are layers inside it, and I recall that story as an imprint. My mother, I recall, also told me another analogy. She said the land in which we are now sitting is like this, the upper crust, which the balai, the cream, the protein that forms over a hot boiling milk, and we are kind of floating. Imagine these stories were the analogies, obviously, she has heard from her teacher then, and they stayed in my mind like anything. And to tell you the truth, I opted for the subject geography in my civil services exam. Between this imprint and the civil services exam, the 14 or 15 years of the school journey, I don't recall anything that left a print on any earth system in my mind. There was almost nothing inspiring. The story is such a powerful tool, it proves. And we can give lots of different analogies when we explain earth to the children. Analogy can be, as onion I said, it can be a hard boiled egg, it can be a pear, because the inner core and outer core and the mantle on the top, that's how they look like. And the stories are really the powerful way to communicate and make this impression lasting on the children's mind. And Earth was obviously never like this when 4.543 billion years ago it came out of, as a part of sun, it started cooling down. Now this is another question, why sun is not cooling down and Earth cooled down so quickly, but it will come after we have studied a little bit on the particles. That's next. And after a big event in the Earth's journey, a very big journey, we are taking it fast, was 4.53 billion years ago. Some Mars-like planet of the size of the Mars, it hit Earth, and that created Moon. And for Moon to survive, it has to be at a distance of about 3 times radius of the Earth. The scientists call it the Roche limit, and that Moon disturbed a huge, created a lot of different impacts on the Earth itself. We will discuss what if there is no Moon, what would happen. Almost the planet would again become lifeless. I will discuss that. A Moon, a big impact it made was that the duration of the day, that's our rotation of the Earth itself, was largely impacted by the moon. The day length used to be much less in the beginning, and after the moon, actually, it became a dimple-like system of moon and Earth together, uh, uh, affecting each other. So now moon is obviously about 60 radius away, gradually moving further. And Earth, the continents were never like this. The continents were initially one continent named Rodinia, and then it was split into they called Pangaea. And these stories never came into the school journey. When I did opted geography in for my civil services exam, this Pangaea I heard for the first time, and it showed that as if the continent could fit into each other. And it occurred to mind, yeah, this seems like fitting, but nobody never told us during the school journey any of these things. And that's how it is that magnetic field also it has decreased since Gauss measured it in 1832. So it's a story. It's a changing. It's a journey of the Earth, and a very interesting. It's nothing coincidental. It's a designed something by the creator. Look, when the day length was initially 4 hours, and it started coming down probably 2.5 billion years ago when photosynthesis came, it was still about 12 hours. When it became 24 hours, then man came on the earth. This is amazing. It's not a coincidence. It seems to be a design that look at now our sleep cycle, how it sinks in with the thing. So that was the story. Now, three quick questions. Does Earth follow the same elliptical path, or that also changes with time? Does its axis of the spin remains same, or this is also changing? Earth is tilted, we know, and that is what causes the seasons. But is this angle of tilt constant, or does it change? Obviously, most of us came through a system which was uninspiring, and everything changes. Change is the only thing permanent in the universe. So, Earth, the elliptical path, it changes in about 1,100,000 years. It fluctuates in a cycle, and its axis of spin, just imagine like a spinning top, how it wobbles. Earth also wobbles. Its period is 23,000 years, and its axis of tilt also kind of oscillates, and its period is about more than 40,000 years. I recall about 10 years back or something when the China made three gorgeous dam. It was such a big project that it also caused a little bit of a tilt in the axis of the earth. So these are quite interesting and inspiring, some of the movements of the earth, and these are known as Milankovitch cycles. And one more inspiring thing that, again, I recall never came in our system, even as a picture, is this the Northern Lights and Southern Lights. It's an extremely beautiful phenomena, and in near the North Pole and the South Pole, or the upper latitude countries. It's because of interaction of particles coming from the sun and the charged particles and with the upper atmosphere part of the earth. So this is some of the story, and we will do more on the earth, and then on the moon, and then we'll come to the particles and the forces. Thank you very much.